Hello and welcome to another video. Now, followers of the channel for some time will know that I'm a big fan of the brand Fjallraven that makes clothing and equipment. One of the things that they are really well known for, particularly in the bushcraft world, is their trousers, with the Vida Pros being the quintessential bushcraft trouser worn by bushcrafters and bushcraft instructors across the globe, particularly in the northern hemisphere. And I think they do make really good trousers, but there are more options out there other than the standard Vida Pros. But it can be a bit confusing to work out which ones are right for you in your particular situation or in a particular season. So if you'd like to learn more about some of the main trouser types that you can find for Fjallraven and which one is right for you, keep watching. I'll see you in a moment. As I mentioned in the intro, I'm a big fan of Fjallraven's gear, and particularly clothing, because I think there's no real good alternative on the market for a lot of the equipment. It is expensive, but good quality, hard wearing, good, well-fitting clothing, it's pretty hard to find anyone else in that space. I've been wearing Fjallraven trousers now for the best part of 6 years. So I wear a pair of Vida Pros, gained a pair of Kebs, got some Abisko lights, and then latest acquisition has been a pair of Vida Pro ventilated. And they have been really good and stood up to the demands of running full-time bushcraft, forest school and conservation activities, and they get a lot of abuse, and they've all stood up to that. The polycotton canvas, for those who don't know, their main material is a polycotton canvas, which means that it's relatively quick drying, very hard wearing, and you can wax it to add durability and weather resistance. As say, weather resistance, not weatherproof. These will still get wet in heavy downpours. They will still take some time to dry. They're not perfect, but they are good, solid trousers. So I'm just going to run through each one, describe some of the features that make them different, and then I'll sum it up with what you'd be looking at for what activity any of these trousers is best for. Starting off with the Abisko light trousers, which is also the ones I'm wearing today. These are designed for lightweight trekking, which is the Abisko range is their kind of summer trekking range. So it's lighter weight fabrics. So the fabric itself on there, if I can get it to focus, is a G1000 light, which is a lighter weight version, but to combat the lack of the reduced durability of being lightweight, it's a ripstop fabric. So they have G1000 light, which is the bit that you can wax there, and then they have large stretch panels on the back of the legs and the sides and on the waistband there. So all of the harder wearing areas all the way down to the bottom of the trousers, right where they'd rub against your boots. That's all the G1000 light, and the areas that aren't as likely to get caught on thorns and brambles and so on is the stretch fabric, which gives you a bit more ventilation, gives you a bit more range of movement. These also have zips down the side for ventilation, and 2 zip pockets, one on either leg. These are fantastic lightweight trousers. As you all know, whenever something's lightweight, you tend to sacrifice a bit of durability. So these don't tend to be as durable as the full G1000 trousers, but they do have a bit more ventilation, lighter weight, and they're a bit more breathable. Moving on to the Vida Pros. This is the outdoor and forest range, and these trousers, there are 101 reviews out there, so I'm not going to belabor the points too much. If you're interested in a pair of these, ask any bushcrafter that you find, and they'll likely be wearing a pair of these. And as I said, tons of videos out there, but I'll quickly go over the features. So this is made primarily from their G1000 fabric, which is their hard wearing fabric, with a bit of G1000 heavy duty in the harder wear areas, like the seat of the trousers, the knee pads, and just along the bottom, right where the cuffs are. So this makes it incredibly durable. These are fantastic, just some of the best trousers I've ever owned. They stand up to a lot. Brambles, nettles, just everyday heavy use. These have been brilliant. They have a number of pockets, so we've got one big map pocket on one trouser there. And then on the other side we've got 3 pockets, so we've got a longer map pocket, another map pocket, and then a multi-tool / axe pocket on the side there. These are your heavy duty trousers, your standard. They work for most of the year, apart from where it gets a little too hot, because they aren't as cool as the Bisco Lights. Really good pair of trousers. Then one of the more recent additions to the Fjallraven range is the Vida Pro ventilated trousers. So these are just like the standard Vida Pros, with a couple of differences. First of all, they have ventilation zips down the side, which is great for cooling down. They also utilize a bit more stretch in them. They have stretch panels on the inside of the legs there. So if I hold up trousers, so just running down the inside of the legs there, bit of stretch. And they've also reconfigured the multi-tool pockets. They have a knife holder on the right leg, standard map pocket, and then the same double pocket that they have on the regular Vida Pros, that side. So these are a really nice addition to the Vida Pro range. One of the main problems with the Vida Pros is where it gets warmer, and when you want a bit more range of movement, they can get a little bit uncomfortable. I say a little bit, they're still one of the most comfortable trousers out there. but adding the ventilation from the zips and from the stretch mesh in between the legs means these can be worn a bit further into spring and summer, which makes them a really good all-rounder. Then we have the last pair, which is a pair of kebs. These are designed for mountaineering, so not so much for forest and bushcraft use. So what they have is they have the G1000 in strips down the front of the leg, so the panels on the front of the leg, and then they have very large stretch panels on the back of the legs, in between the legs, and around the waistband. So that makes them very easy to move in. But as I said, whenever you're adding stretch panels, you are reducing the durability. Stretch panels are more likely to get damaged by brambles and thorns and so on, but you do get a good range of motion, a good amount of ventilation. Talking about ventilation, they do also have the zips down the side, ventilated zips, and then you have your two pockets either side, map sized. The one on the left leg has a zip closure as well. It's really handy. So these are kind of like the Bisco lights, except a heavier duty version, and I'd call them a bit more of a winter mountaineering trouser. I do have a full review of that on my website, so I'll leave a link up above. But yeah, really solid G1000 and G1000 heavy duty to clear around the bottom where you'd be wearing crampons or something else you're more likely to snag, but with really good range of motion and ability to ventilate when you're working hard. So they're kebs. So now that you have a bit of an overview as to the different trousers and the different features they have, we'll talk through the spectrum. So we've got the Bisco lights, we've got the Keb, the VidaPro ventilated, the regular VidaPros, and then the Keb trousers. And this is, for me, the spectrum which I wear them. So these ones I will tend to wear for summer use, winter, and where it gets really cold, I'll switch to the Kebs. The advantage, so in terms of the spectrum, Bisco lights are the one on my go-to for when it's pretty warm weather like it is at the moment. You can see I'm in short sleeves, it's 28 degrees today, and I'm wearing a pair of Bisco lights. Because there's still a lot of nettles and brambles around, I might be kneeling down, and I don't want to be wearing shorts. So whenever you want a long pair of trousers, whenever you're getting warm, you still want a long pair of trousers, these are the ones to go for. They won't offer you as much protection, and I don't think they'll last as long as VidaPros. I've actually broken the zip on the Bisco lights there. I've got a lot of rips and tears and so on. They're still holding up really well, and I've used these ones for over 2.5 years of really hard conservation work, so sometimes wading through brambles for 4 hours on end. So they do take a beating. They have coped with it, but they don't cope with it as well as the Vidas that have the G1000 all over. So these are a great summer bushcraft trouser, not one that I'd wear for really heavy duty work. Moving on, VidaPro ventilated. These are my new favorites. I didn't know whether they were worth the extra money when I bought them, but I got the opportunity to buy these pretty near new, so never been used but second hand, and I took a chance on them and they have become my favorite pair of trousers. They are that extra, just a little bit of versatility through having the stretch and the ventilation, as well as just being the solid VidaPro construction. Yeah, they're really good. The big downside is they are way more expensive than VidaPros. And I'm not quite sure about the change around from the multi-tool pocket. I quite like the multi-tool pocket, but I'm not that upset about it. But yeah, the ability to ventilate and the stretch panels means that I can use it later in the year when things get warmer. Not necessarily when it's 28 degrees, but when it's getting up closer to the 20s. It's a great way to extend the use of your VidaPro trousers. Well, I'll have to see how they do in the winter. I may well just go to the VidaPros on their own in winter. Which brings me over to the VidaPros. These are the workhorses. If you're looking for a solid pair of trousers for bushcraft, forestry and outdoor work, they are really good. Like, I've had these particular ones for 2 years. They're barely showing it. I've melted a hole in one of the pockets, but they're still going strong. I've used and abused some pairs, as I said, for close to 6 years now, and they just keep trucking on. There's not a lot that can go wrong. Unlike with the ventilated and the Viscolite, there's no zips on these. Zips tend to be something that fail pretty easily. The teeth don't match up, they get pulled in a certain direction. Zips are really easy to break. When there are zips on a piece of equipment, that is a weak point. So having pretty much just the crotch zip, the fly, means that these stay robust for longer. Just those closures. The only thing that I've had break on all of the VidaPros is there's a little elastic mesh pocket inside the mat pocket on the right leg, and when I'm constantly shoving pocket knives and sticks and pens in there, it does wear through a bit, but that's mesh and zips. If you see those on something, recognize that's not going to take as much abuse as you'd like. Then last thing, the kebs. I will admit these are the trousers I wear the least, primarily because I think with the design and the weight, because they're heavy duty fabric, but they don't have the same durability as the VidaPros because of all that mesh, all of that elastic fabric. They just don't have the durability. But they are fantastic for winter journeys where you're moving a lot and you're walking a lot, but you want something robust that won't break on you. They're good. But as I say, least used pair of trousers. If I'm honest, if I had the chance to go back in time, I'd probably trade these in for a pair of VidaPro ventilated or VidaPro regulars. But if you do a lot of backpacking in the winter, particularly when there's snow around, they are a lot better for that. So snow and cold weather is where the kebs really shine. VidaPros all year round, good solid pair of trousers. VidaPro ventilated if you want a little bit more warmer weather protection, and Viscolite if you want something that will keep you going throughout the year in the warmer months. So there you have it. Those are the 4, I'd say, most common trousers, Fjallraven trousers you're likely to run into. And as I said, it depends on your particular circumstances as to which ones you'd get. I will say they are expensive, and there's no getting around that. But for me personally, the fit, the utility and versatility of the pocket arrangements, the amount of thought that's gone into it, they're also really good looking trousers. Like the little details of the Fox logo on the press studs, they are a nice pair of trousers. But there are ways to bring down the prices, so keep an eye out on gear exchanges. There's a Facebook group called Scandinavian Gear Exchange. There's eBay. You can snag yourself some real bargains there. A couple of years back, I got a Greenland jacket, which is usually 140 odd. I got it for £30 just because it was a colour and size that most people weren't looking for. So keep an eye out on used groups, because there's good quality and they'll last for years if you look after them. That means that there is a good second-hand market, and you'll find them for far less than retail. Keep an eye on sales. As we say in retail, the only thing constant is sales. There will always be time that they are discounted. Check that whether you can get a discount for particular organizations. Most outdoor shops will do discounts for members of Ramblers or Cycling UK or Caravan and Camping Club. So have a look at those and see if you can get a discount on that. In my opinion, they are worth it. If you're looking for something that will last you a good number of years and will be comfortable and functional, can't recommend these trousers enough. Not saying they're perfect. If what you do most of the time is go out hiking, they're not. I'll admit, you want something lightweight, quick drying, mountain equipment. They all make fantastic trousers, but those sort of walking trousers just don't stand up to woodland work the same way as a bit of product. There are new people muscling into the market. Revolution Race. There's a couple of other Scandinavian brands that are making themselves known. Haglofs make some decent trousers, and a lot of other companies are starting to build a bushcraft range. But if you're looking for top-notch quality and dedication to and thought put into a pair of trousers or a piece of equipment, then I'd recommend checking out Fjallraven. So with that, say thank you so very much for watching. I hope this has been useful. Let me know if there's anything more you'd like to know about the trousers or my thoughts. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video. Make the most of your day.